It's the first meeting of Rose and Bernard when Bernard helps Rose get her car out of the snow and falls on his face for it. That's kind of a metaphor for what he'll be going through this whole episode. 5 months later, Bernard proposes. Wait, 5 months? You're not using one of the numbers? What is this blasphemy? Rose says she only has about a year to live, but Bernard just asks again. It's a sweet moment, which will sadly be completely undermined by the crap Rose gives him in the island story. Also, the script clearly goes to some trouble to not mention the disease she has, only for an episode next season to offhandedly reveal that it's cancer. So what the hell was the point of that? They go to Australia for their honeymoon, and Bernard tricks Rose into seeing a mystic mumbo-jumbo guy named Isaac. Rose is pissed because Bernard can't just accept that she's going to die. And get used to it, because as much as it pains me to say this, that's the lesson we're supposed to take from this episode, that you should give up when things get hard. Good luck finding that moral on Saturday Morning Glory. Isaac's played by Wayne Pygram, who's best known as Scorpius on one of the greatest science fiction shows ever made, Farscape. He was also the guy made up to look like Peter Cushing in the last shot of Revenge of the Sith. It's great to see him in something more popular like this, but this really isn't the best role. He tells Rose this isn't the right place for her to be healed, and Rose decides to tell Bernard he did heal her so he won't pull something like this again. Bernard can't believe Rose isn't questioning where all the food came from, but she shuts him down without explanation. He is also outraged that everyone seems to have given up hope of being rescued. And given this show, is it any surprise that we're supposed to think he's wrong? Locke gets so obsessed with drawing the map from the blast door that he soon forgets about pushing the key until Jack has to remind him like an annoyed neighbor complaining about an alarm clock. I enjoyed that. Ben's now refusing to eat or talk, so Jack exposits that he's using the idea Ben gave him to offer to trade him for Walt. Ben replies that the others will never give up Walt for, reasons. Bernard gets Hurley to round up a few people, then Jack doesn't let Ana Lucia go with him. But unlike the hunting party, this time he has a good reason, as he doesn't want to leave Locke alone with Ben. Was that so hard? And then he invites Kate and not Sawyer, and also talks about getting a gun from Ana Lucia just to prove he has a bigger penis. You had it, and you lost it. Bernard tells everyone he's gathered that they should build a giant sign on the beach so the next time a plane flies over or a satellite takes a picture they'll see it. And no one wants to do it for absolutely no reason. They say they want to get off the island, but no one wants to do anything about it. It's like a beach full of George Costanzas. Then Rose completes the cycle of humiliation by saying they should ask Jack for permission since a doctor outranks a dentist. Seriously, that's her whole argument, and everyone else accepts it because they're stupid. Rose takes him aside and says not to give anyone false hope that the sign will be seen. Did you miss the plane that dropped a shitload of food a couple days ago? Bernard tells Echo and Charlie about the sign, and now Charlie knows they're building a church, so that scene where Echo refused to tell him was completely meaningless. They both refuse to help because, church. Who cares about getting back to your real life as long as you get to look down on people who are going to hell, am I right? Locke demands to know if Ben pushed the key or not, while Ben just smiles. That's my exact reaction too. Some of Bernard's workers have left for absolutely no reason, and then he assigns himself the easiest job. Oh, I'm convinced now, he makes everyone else carry the rocks while he just digs in the sand, which automatically means he's stupid and his entire idea is worthless, right? Right? And then there's more of him acting completely out of character and becoming a huge jerk just to drive it home some more. Jack tells Kate that he asked her along because the others demonstrated back in the hunting party that neither of them were of any interest. If you'll excuse me... Oh, just wait a few episodes and you'll find out why that's so funny. And in a stunningly out-of-character move, unless of course you see Kate the way I do, she spots a doll on the ground and is suddenly compelled to pick it up. Toy airplane, you may have competition. And yeah, it's one of Danielle's traps. You are stupid. This gives the shippers plenty of material to masturbate over, and also gives the writers a cheap excuse to make Jack look better by making Kate look worse when he's inexplicably able to make a tricky shot to get them down when she couldn't. Really not buying it. There's more of Bernard being an asshole for no reason to further invalidate him being right, and then Locke tells Rose he is done with pushing the key, because Ben's one statement screwed up his head that much. You know, when you're trying to make a smart villain, it helps to show them beating someone who's not this much of a spineless moron. Kate tells Jack about the staff, though she insists on also calling it a hatch. Seriously, did no one on the production team know what that word actually means? And gets a pretty nice moment when she calls Jack on being upset that she didn't tell him sooner when he kept Ben a secret for so long. But if this goes any further, the audience might start thinking Jack did something wrong and we can't have that, so she's cut off when they arrive at the spot where Tom ambushed them. Jack yells for the others to meet him and talk about Ben, and it takes a particular kind of guts to put this character in a position where he's yelling at nothing and expect us to take it seriously. Bernard's now been reduced to working by himself, so everyone laugh at the poor schmuck who just wanted to get everyone rescued, the dumb bastard. And Rose admits to him that Isaac didn't heal her and goes on to say something that would have saved everyone a lot of aggravation if she'd just come out and said it, but it wouldn't be this show if anyone ever did that. Her cancer has been gone since the crash and she's afraid it'll come back if she leaves the island. And she knows this because people can feel when they have cancer and when they don't. Rose, you're one of the show's most likable characters, but you are completely full of shit here, and it's really quite offensive. We also get to see that she saw Locke in a wheelchair, confirming that the island is responsible. And she hasn't ever talked with him about this because why exactly? Oh right, because people don't do that on this show. And finally, Bernard now agrees to stop trying to get rescued because it's not like there's 40 plus other people who might want that, and nothing stopping him and Rose from staying if the rest of them leave. This scene is really an epic fail of storytelling all around. Jack's yelling turned up a whole lot of nothing, but suddenly Michael comes running up. And oh, the joy he's going to give us. Just wait until the next episode. My score for SOS is 1 out of 10. I forget which episode it is, but there's a quote from The Simpsons. You tried your best and you failed miserably. The lesson is never try. And while that was a joke, this episode actually gives us that message and expects us to take it seriously. That you should just sit on your ass and do nothing because you're probably a jerk who doesn't deserve to succeed anyway. Just like Jerkass blowing himself up in Exodus, it's really hard not to feel insulted with someone who's asking the same questions the audience was being portrayed this way. Add on the shockingly offensive statement that people can feel when they have cancer, and Rose and Bernard's first central outing as a giant bust, quite disappointing for once promising characters.